Hi guys, good morning. So I have told you guys before that when I'm stressed I like to bake, and I have a lot of things that are coming up this weekend. I have got to go to training Thursday through Sunday, and so I'll be gone for a little bit, and I've got a lot of errands to run and some packing to do. So feeling a little bit stressed out. I'm not gonna bake right now, but I am gonna make a dessert. I have to head out. I gotta get labs done, and I gotta get my medication, a whole bunch of junk. So I'm gonna make Carlotta de Limón. It's a dessert. Traditionally, it only has 4 ingredients, which is evaporated milk, condensed milk, Maria's cookies, and limes. But I'm gonna add a couple of extra things to it. So I'm definitely gonna add limes, and I have some limes here, and these limes, for some reason, they're super dry. I got them at Costco or Sam's Club. And so what I did was I rolled them on the counter, kind of roll them like this on the counter. Let's see, like this. I rolled them, and then I put them in some really warm, like very, very hot water actually. Just kind of maybe revive that a little bit. So I'm gonna use some lime juice. I'm gonna use a stick of cream cheese. I'm gonna double my recipe. So I'm going to use 2 cans of La Lechera or any condensed milk that you have. And this is 14 ounces, which is typically how it comes. And then 2 cans of regular condensed milk. And this is a 12-ounce can, so I'm using 2 of these. And then I have the Maria's cookies, which I bought in bulk at Sam's or Costco, I don't remember. But these cookies are very, not very sweet at all. And then, where did I put it? Oh, I have some dry coconut, sweetened coconut. So I was gonna throw this out, but I'm gonna put it at the bottom of my dish so that the liquid can kind of hydrate it. Because you know what they say, put the lime in the coconut. So I'm gonna add that as well. So I'm also, with this lime, what I want to do, I don't have a zester, unfortunately. I accidentally threw it out. But I'm going to zest some of this lime. I'm gonna zest maybe about a tablespoon or so. So I'm going to get that going and zest some of this lime. I'm using the semi-fine side of my grater, and this grater sucks. It's not working very good. Let me see if I have a rougher lime here. Yeah, this one's better. So I'm gonna zest some of that. And you only want to get, you don't want to get any of the white part, so you just zest it up to the white, because this white part is actually more bitter, and we don't want that bitterness. So let me go ahead and get about a tablespoon going, and then we'll do the next step. Okay, I've got about a tablespoon in here of lime zest, and this isn't necessary for the recipe. I like to add it. It gives it a little bit more of a pungent flavor. And I'm going to sprinkle some on top, and you know, just for like decoration. And when you do zest the lime, you want to zest it while the lime is still whole, because if you try to zest it afterwards, it's going to be slipping in your hand. So zest it while it's still whole. And so now with these other limes, I'm going to go ahead and juice these limes if I can, because I have a lot of pain in my hands, and this is going to cause more pain. So these limes are kind of dry. They kind of suck, to be honest. So you can juice them by hand, or I'm trying to get them on the camera here. Let me move this a little bit so you can see the entire mess in my kitchen. So you can juice them by hand, or you can use one of these little squeezers or a juicer, whatever. But you see how I'm not really getting a whole lot of juice out of this. So this is gonna take a minute. I'm probably gonna I want no less than half a cup of lime juice, but I'm gonna try to aim for maybe 3/4 of a cup. I've only got 1/4 in there right now. And I always keep a bowl near me to throw the trash in. So I'm gonna go ahead and juice some of these limes, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so those limes really sucked. But so far I have 1 cup of lime juice, which is exactly what I need. And I used about 10 limes. These were pretty large limes, but they're fairly dry. Most of them are pretty dry. So we've got our lime juice. That and get rid of this lime trash here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up our cans of evaporated and sweetened condensed milk. I've got a blender cup here, and we're going to get that going in here. By the way, I was watching, I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Pitt, P-I-T-T. It's on Hulu. It's pretty good. It's kind of like ER, but my sister got me onto that, Irene, and supposedly it's supposed to be, or according to medical professionals, it's said that it's very realistic. And they show all the gore and all that stuff on there, and so I've been binge watching that. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't gotten anything done. But anyhow, this guy came in with a bunch of gross blister bubbles all over his skin everywhere. And so, you know, they're trying to eliminate, you know, trying to figure out why he's had all these, why he got these blisters and stuff. And they found out that he was squeezing limes outdoors in the sun. And I forgot what the term is, but it's this big old long term. And that caused him to get blisters all over. And I didn't Google it. I didn't check to see if it's true, but I'm pretty sure it is true. Because like a lot of the stuff that they do on there is from actual cases that they've heard of. So I'm pretty sure it's true. So anyways, don't squeeze your limes outdoor in the sun. I've got a little scraper because I'm putting in the sweetened condensed milk. And remember, I doubled my recipe. So if you don't have, or you don't want to have such a big dessert, you don't need to. You can use half of what I'm using. Let me switch this over. So let me go ahead and add this as well. Get all that yumminess out of there. Now I remember having this a few times long time ago, and it's actually really good. It's a really simple thing, and for those of you that don't, and if I haven't mentioned this before, if you're not a baker, but you want to have a really nice, a good, delicious dessert, this is the way to go. And this is super simple. So when we put this all together, it's going to go in the fridge for a couple of hours at least, or overnight if you can, before you serve it. So I actually haven't had breakfast yet. It's I think it's about 11:30 or 12 o'clock right now. I have to fast so I can go do my labs. I'm going to be having surgery for my carpal tunnel next month, and so you know, I gotta make sure I'm not all jacked up. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this cup of lemon juice to it. And I didn't strain it. Actually, I think there's a seed in there. Whoopsie. But I didn't strain it. I just left the pulp in and everything. If you want, you can strain it, of course. Let me rinse off the stickiness from my hands real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just cover this, and we'll blend it for a second. Oopsie, I forgot my cream cheese. This is softened cream cheese, so you definitely want to make sure that it's not super cold. Make sure it's softened. And then I'm going to add a little pinch of, that's probably like 1/4 of a teaspoon of this lemon zest. Get that in there. And let me cover this back up, and then we are going to blend it. This is an amazing blender. This is a Vitamix blender. My nephew moved in with me a few months ago, and he brought some of his kitchen gadgets, and I love him. make sure we get this nice and creamy, no chunks. Okay, so that's all nice and blended. Super duper creamy. So we're gonna get ready. Now you can use any pan you want. I happen to be using, this is a 4-inch by, I think it's probably like a 4-inch by 8-inch maybe pan. Use any pan you want. You don't need to line it, but I am going to line it with some plastic wrap because I'm gonna turn it over when it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and, this wrap isn't big enough for the entire pan, so I went ahead and put one length this way and one length that way so that it gets the sides of the pan and everything. So I'm gonna do that. Now, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to fill this. Now, like I said, I am personally going to add some of this dried ass coconut. I have some toasted coconut. You don't need to add this. I'm just adding it because I want to get rid of it and I don't want to throw it away. So I'm just putting it at the bottom. I have this coconut mixed with some pecans, but I'm going to leave the pecans out. And you can put anything you want. If you want to put, you know, strawberries at the bottom, you can, or you can wait till you take them out to put the strawberries in. But I'm going to go ahead and add some of this coconut. If you don't like coconut, that's fine. You don't have to add this. Okay. So I've got my coconut at the bottom. And then we are going to go ahead and add a little bit of this mixture. Look at how creamy that is. Let me move this a little bit so you can see it better. So I'm going to add a little bit of that to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and try to spread it around a little bit. It's kind of hard with that coconut that I just put in there. I'm going to go ahead and try to spread that a little bit. So it has a nice layer. Add some more if you want. Well, this is just, you don't need to really measure how much you're going to put in. Just get a, get a good amount for that bottom. Okay, that looks good. And then we're going to get some of these cookies and we're just going to layer these cookies in. Going to layer these cookies in. Try to cover up all the empty spaces at the bottom as much as you can. Break up the cookies if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and break these up. Get these like empty spots here. And then add another layer. And just keep repeating this. So we're going to add a really good amount there. And so what this liquid is going to do is going to kind of, the cookies are going to kind of soak it up. And it's going to be like cream crust in here. And then let's just keep repeating the layers. Okay, here I am on my last layer. For every layer, I was putting about maybe about a cup of cream. I'm using a half cup here. And again, it doesn't matter. The measurements don't matter. It's just layer it. Don't stress too much about what exactly you're doing. So far I've used 2 of the bags of the Maria's cookies. And I'm gonna add a little bit, I'm gonna add 2 layers of cookies on the last layer because when we invert it, that's gonna be the crust, basically, the bottom crust. So I'm gonna add another layer of cookies on here. Just to give it some stability when you invert it. Leave it on. And then this is the last of the cream. I need to get this going here. Okay, this is all put together. It's actually a little bit higher than my pan, and so you can cover it with some plastic wrap. But what I'm probably gonna do, and you probably should, you know, if it doesn't reach this, mine is just so high. I'm gonna put something over it that's not gonna smash it. I don't want it to get dried up. So then I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. You should have it in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours. However, if you could have it a few more hours than that, or maybe overnight, that's even better. So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator, and then I gotta go do my errands, and then when I come back, I will invert it and we'll see how it looks. I don't know how to piece videos together, and this video is already 16 minutes long, and I don't know how to like chop it up, so bear with me. If you want to watch the whole thing, fine. I don't care. You don't have to. Okay, bye. Okay, so it's already 3:21. I still haven't eaten anything all day. I don't want to ruin my lunch or dinner, whatever, but I am going to take this out and see how it came out. And here it is. It's been sitting in the freezer for a couple of hours. I know I had mentioned earlier, put it in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours, but I decided to put it in the freezer. And so I'm gonna take that out. I gotta get a plate, 1 second. So I'm just gonna put it on a plate. It fits perfectly. So I'm gonna put the plate over it, like so. And then I'm gonna invert it. And it should just come out like that. And then we'll take the plastic off. Take this plastic off. We trash that. And then I have my handy dandy, remember the lemon zest, the extra? You can just sprinkle that on. Just for a little color, flavor, whatever. You don't have to, again, you don't have to do this. I'm just doing it. And I gotta get a knife. I got my knife and my plate, but I want to show you. Look at how it looks on the side. Isn't that cool? Yum. There you go. And then those brown spots are the coconut, the toasted coconut I put on. So let's cut a piece and see how this is. I'm gonna get a really small one. And you know what? In the freezer, because I have a big old stand-up freezer. In the freezer, it's actually pretty good because it's still super soft. It's formed, but it's super soft. So, look at that. I probably should have wet the knife before I did this, but whatever. Okay. And then, oopsie. It's falling apart. It's falling apart. See it? Yeah, I'm probably going to put it back in the freezer, actually, to continue to harden just a bit. I got to get a fork. Okie dokie. I kind of messed it up, but it's okay. Should still be delicious. Let's try. It's good. It is so good. And you know what? That coconut that I put on top, it just gives it something extra. Definitely need to try this. This probably costs maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably costs about 12 bucks to make this, but you made it. So super, super delicious. That coconut was great. Put the lime in the coconut. Okay, bye.